In this video, I'm going to be showing you the complete beginner's guide to building voice AI agents using Go High Level. We're going to be diving deep into the platform, giving you a full tutorial on everything that you need to know. And then from there, we're going to be building a voice AI agent using that platform completely from scratch. And by the end of this video, you have all the completely free resources, templates, everything you need to go ahead and download and get started as quickly as possible. If you don't already know me, my name is Ashton. I've been helping business owners implement AI solutions to save time, cut costs, and drive growth. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the video and let's go into Go High Level and I'll give you a rundown of the platform. All right, let's get into it. So first of all, this is going to be the Go High Level voice AI platform right here. As you know, Go High Level is a very comprehensive software and they've made a lot of changes to their voice AI agent section right here, allowing us to have more customizability over our voice AI agents compared to what it was before. So I thought I'd do a complete full beginner's course and tutorial so you can actually understand how to utilize that voice AI agent section inside Go High Level. So let's get straight into it. So first of all, you want to go down to this AI agent section right here. And we're going to be covering the voice AI section right here. If you come into the voice AI section, this is going to be our little dashboard right here. So we have two little settings. We've got inbound agents and we've got outbound agents. Essentially, inbound agents are agents that are taking in inbound calls, and then outbound agents are simply agents that are sending outbound calls if you didn't already know. So this is going to be our little dashboard and log section right here, which essentially we can monitor the dashboard of the agents. We can monitor the total calls, the action triggered, the overall sentiment analysis, if it's positive or negative, the average duration, and then we can also see all the different call logs down here as well. So we can also filter by all the different agents. As you can see, I've got a bunch of agents I've already pre-built inside here, and you can filter them to actually filter for different agents. If we go down here, we can see, I'll try and find an agent that actually has some data in it, but again, you kind of get the point. If you click on an agent, you can filter everything from there, right? Then from here, we have the date. You can obviously go ahead and filter all of these dates right here, right? Then we have outbound. So if you switch it to outbound, it's going to look a little bit different because it is an outbound agent. So you've got attempted calls, connected calls, action triggered, you've got a sentiment analysis, you've got voicemail, no answer, and failed. So again, giving you analysis on outbound calls. And here's how you can actually go ahead and enable outbound calls right here. Obviously, you do need consent, so just go ahead and click agree and accept, and you'll be able to make outbound calls, which is another huge update Go High Level has had, because previously they only allowed for inbound agents. Now they do outbound and inbound as well, which is super awesome right here. And then from here, we have the agent list. So again, you can go ahead and see all of your different agents right here. Very similar if you've used other voice AI platforms, you can go ahead and see everything with their associated number and the last updated point of contact right there. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Now that we've covered the dashboard and the agent list and all the settings, let's go ahead and actually create our first agent. We'll do a custom agent. I'll run you through all the different settings you need to know inside Go High Level. So first of all, this looks a little bit different to all the other voice platforms. They run you through a more simplistic approach with a 1, 2, 3 approach. So agent details, agent goals, and then phone availability right here. So if we switch to advanced settings, we can actually customize this a little bit further. We'll get into that later. As you can see, this is where you can customize your agent. Again, this is a very beginner-friendly approach. Go High Level made it very easy that you can understand these agents. So we have the agent name right here. For example, like let's just name ours Emily, right? This is going to be Emily, and it's going to be for, we'll do it for a med spa, right? So I've just got a med spa template. So again, you can name your agent right here, right? Then we have the business name. So we'll just do whatever, Elation Wellness Med Spa. So this is going to be referring Elation Wellness Med Spa, right? I just leave it at that, right? Because this is what the business name is in the prompt, which I'm going to show you, right? And then from here we have the language. So this is going to be the main language for our agent, right? So again, this is another update that they have made. They have allowed for it to be multilingual, so they can do English and Spanish, they can do Portuguese, they can do a bunch of different languages. Now, this is not quite up to date with a lot of the voice platforms that allow you to have up to 40 different languages at once, but it's still definitely a big improvement, right? So this is the platform. Again, you got the language, you got English, German, Spanish. So whatever the main language that you need in your voice agent, this is what you want to pick, right? And then from here, we have the voice. So we can select all these voices. And these, I assume, is from 11 Labs right here. So we can search, you got about 200 voices. So again, you can just search like, you can search John, right? You can search whatever agent you want and you can listen to their things, right? You can also do it by filters as well. You can filter the type of voice you want. So if you're in America, you might want an American voice and you can filter for America, right? If you want a female, you can filter and it will show up for all the American female voices, etc., right? So we've got Indian, we've got, Translation, we've got a bunch of different things, right? So this is another huge feature, and you can also filter by all the different types of languages right here. You've got Italian, all these different types of things. But let's just go ahead and pick an English voice. Let's pick an American voice right here, and let's just do this, right? Whatever, right? Save voice. Awesome. So again, that's how you can select all your voices for your voice AI agent inside Go High Level right here, right? Then we have the time zone. So this is the main time zone for your agent. So Go High Level have made it super simple because before in a lot of other voice AI platforms, yes, it does allow for more customizability, but in here, they've allowed us to set the time zone for our agents. So this is going to be very useful when we're doing things like booking appointment, checking availability, right? The agent will know what time zone it's in, and it's going to be very easy for us to send those, different times, right? Because it knows the time that it's in. So you can go ahead and select all the different time zones within here. Again, this is another feature that they've constantly updating it as well, and it's inbuilt within the Go High Level platform itself, right? Then from here, we have the LLM model. So you can actually choose your LLM now. Again, this is another big update that they've done, right? You can see we can customize all the GBT models. We can got Claude, we've got Gemini, etc. So again, I'm just going to be leaving it on the recommended GPT 4.0 model. But again, a key point here, guys, is when you're changing the LLM, it's going to change your price in the cents per minute that it has, right? Very similar to other voice AI platforms, right? And then from here, this is the initial agent's message right here. So very similar to other voice platforms if you've worked with it. This is going to be the initial message right here that the agent says. Now, well, there's a little bit of problems here is you can't actually do it where the user will speak first. It's only the agent speaks first, right? I'm pretty sure with this initial message. So again, let's just copy in that business name right here, and I'll show you everything, right? Awesome. Now let's click next. And then let's also go into the advanced settings as well. I'll also cover that. So call settings, right? This is another feature that they have had. It allows us to add a maximum call limit time as well. So we can allow a call to go up to 2 minutes, 3 minutes. This is very good to limit the call conversation and try and save cents and try and save minutes when we are with our voice agent. So we might want to set a conversation to 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, just to make sure we don't use too many cents per minute and too many credits, right? Idle time and reminder frequency, right? So this is essentially saying if the user does not speak, the AI is going to, say something, right? So it's just not going to go blank for like 5 seconds, right? Or, 20, 30 seconds is what I'm trying to say. So if it's 4 seconds, it's going to say, hey, look, are you there, right? And we can actually do this right here. So you can see the agent will remind the contact after a fixed time of silence during the call. So that's another good setting right there. So again, let's just move this down to the default right here, right? Agent behavior. So we can now customize the agent even further, right? We can customize the response speed, right? You want it fast, of course. You want the responses to be quite fast. Interruption sensitivity. So this essentially means when you have it up higher, it's going to be more prone to interruption. For example, let's say you were in a busy environment, you might have someone talking in the back. If it does detect a voice, it's just gonna stop talking, right? So again, you can customize this as well in high level as well. You can change this. If you want it up higher, it's gonna be more sensitive. If you want down low, it's gonna be less sensitive, right? So let's just leave it around the middle for now. LLM temperature. Again, this is very similar. They've used a lot of very similar features to like retail and Vappy. Again, if you have it up higher, it's going to lower fill values is better function call results. So again, when we're making function calls or making tool calls, if it's lower, it's going to be better. If it's higher, it's going to be more creative. So again, this is just defining how creative or how strict you want it. So again, I'll just leave it around here, right? Awesome, right? All right. And then we have the voice settings. So now we can also customize the voice. So again, voice speed, we can have it up to upwards of 2x. I believe it goes up 2x. Yep. So again, let's just have it at 1. That's just the standard, right? But again, obviously, higher voice speed is going to mean it's quicker. Voice temperature, again, this is just more how you can control the emotion behind it, right? If you have it up higher, it's going to be more emotional. If you have it down low, it's going to be more calm, right? Good use cases for this is if you are maybe you have like a lawyer or you're working with a law firm, right? You might want to have it higher up to be more quick, right? Maybe it was an emergency law, if it was a personal injury law, you might want to speak faster, right? So again, you can customize the agent based on the type of agent you're building, right? Voice volume, again, pretty self-explanatory. Adjusting the voice of the agent. If you have it up higher, it's going to be louder. If you have it lower, it's going to be it's going to be more quiet, right? Background sound. So we can now add background sound to our agent, right? Instead of it just being one voice and a blank voice, you can have background sound. So for example, let's say you are working with a restaurant, you might want to add a coffee shop noise, right? Or you're working, wherever in a call center, you can add background sounds to your voice AI agent to make it even more conversational right here. So let's just go ahead and confirm that right there. And that's all of our agent settings. And that covers this first part, which is agent details right here. Now let's switch on to the next part, which is going to be very important, which is going to be agent goals. Now, I'm actually going to be switching to the advanced mode because it's going to be a lot easier for us to actually configure this agent. Now, before we get into it, we can actually select knowledge bases. So if we go ahead and create new, it's going to come up here again. These are just some knowledge bases I was playing around with. But now what we can do is we can do, Go High Level test. We can add in knowledge bases to our voice AI agent. This will be used for a test, right? Awesome, create. So we can actually create custom knowledge bases for our agent. And what they didn't have before is they only had web crawler and FAQs. Now you can add in tables, right? Now you can add in text, right? You can add in blank text right here. And then you can also add in files, which is very, very important right here. So we can actually upload files into our voice AI agent and give it knowledge. So again, this will be used when customers ask any questions about the business, ask any, times about the business. We can now upload files within here to give it knowledge for our voice AI agent right here. So that essentially covers the knowledge base section right there. So yeah, again, you can add in knowledge base for your voice AI agents. So now moving on to one of the most important parts, which is going to be prompting and prompt engineering. Now, I'm going to be using a template. I'm going to be showing you how to build this, right? So again, let's go down. Let's delete all of this right here. So again, prompting is essentially defining the role of the agent, the task of the agent, how it's meant to handle the conversations, some notes, how it's meant to call different tools. Again, essentially prompting the agent on how to handle the conversation when the customer calls in. So again, I'm going to be using a prompt I've already pre-built, and it's going to be for a med spa right here. So again, up here we have the role. This is going to be role, you are Sophia, a concierge for Crown Cuts and Style Studio, a modern salon and barber lounge. Your persona is friendly, approachable, stylish, and confident, right? And then from here, we have its task. So again, I'm going to be running through this quickly because the whole purpose of this is the platform itself, not prompting. So again, I'm going to be running you through this, but it's also important to understand the prompt because it's going to relate directly to these actions, which is another very important part in our agent goals as well. So again, then we have the task, right? Your main task is to guide the client through the booking process, greeting the user, checking for availability, appointment slots, and booking in appointments, right? So that's going to be its main task right here. And then this is where we have our step-by-step greeting the customer, right? So we've got greeting and service inquiry, ask what service they'd like, check availability, use the check availability tool. So again, we're going to put this in as action because that's actually what it is, right? Use the check availability action tool. And then we'll also put here check appointment action. Awesome, right? So again, this is going to be everything for check availability. So this is going to be how it's going to be checking availability in a calendar, right? So we're not actually going to be using Go High Level Calendar. We're going to be using the external calendar, and I'm going to tell you and explain why because I think it's a good it's a good skill to have up, your arsenal to learn how to actually connect these systems to other automation platforms, right? And then book appointment, right? So once a suitable time is agreed upon, collect the client's first name, last name, and email, and then run the book appointment tool. So again, that's just the task, and I'll show you how this relates to the actions a little bit later. But for now, we've got a few more things, which is going to be the context, an example conversation, and then important notes right here. So let's just open this up even more. And then from here, we have the context of our agent. So Crown Cuts and Style Studio is a premium salon and barber lounge offering haircuts, color, beard trims, and styling. Your interaction must be smooth, stylish, and friendly to match the brand's vibe. You are integrated directly within the salon's calendar via the provided tools. The user is calling by phone, asking to book an appointment, check time, and get business info. So again, this is just giving a little bit of context about the agent. Again, I won't run too in-depth into it right here, right? The whole purpose is for Go High Level, right? Then we have an example conversation. So again, just providing an example of what it would look like inside a conversation, and then also giving examples on when to run those tools, right? We'll just rename these actions for the purpose of the video, right? Awesome, right? Okay, and then we'll just change this to book, right? Awesome. So, and then action. Again, this is just what a general prompt would look like. And then we have important note. So this is what a prompt should look like. And this is going to be our prompt of our main agent inside Go High Level right here. So you can actually go ahead and evaluate the prompt. It'll tell you if it's good or not. Right here, that's definitely a cool feature. Let's see what it comes up with. It might take a while. Again, it's just scanning that. Let's see what it comes up with. But yeah, not sure where that went. Again, must be a new feature. You can evaluate it, right? But let's get on to the next part, which is going to be setting up actions. So you can see High Level have a bunch of different actions. They've got call transfers, which essentially means transferring to a number, triggering a workflow, which is going to be triggering a workflow inside this automation section right here, sending SMSs, updating contact fields, appointment booking, a custom action, and then an MCP, which we won't really get into. But we're going to be covering all of these so you can understand how it all works. So first of all, let's dive into call transfer. So again, you can add in a call transfer tool. Now, for this specific agent we're doing, we only have two little actions here. We're going to have an send SMS, right? And then we're also going to have, right, send SMS, book appointment, and then we're also going to have check availability right here, right? Let's go ahead and do this, right? So again, call transfer, right? You can add in the action name. Ideally, make sure the action name, if you are using call transfer, is the same in here than it is in the same in your prompt, right? It just makes it very easy for the AI to call the tool, right? Phone number to transfer. Again, this is when this is just going to be the static phone number to transfer. So when we are creating these agents, we can put it to management, we can put it to, whatever, right? When should the transfer call take place? So again, we can prompt the agent on when to exactly transfer it. So let's just like do this, right? Whatever, right? And then we can prompt it right here. So we can say, when should this take place? So we'll just say, when the customer requests, we'll just do like when the customer requests management, right? Or something like that, right? So again, this transfer call will take place when the customer requests to speak to a staff or a management, right? What to say during before transferring the call, and then we'll say, please wait, please wait while we transfer you, or something like that. You to the correct stuff, right? So this is just an example of what I'll put in right here. And then here, whisper message with call summary on transfer. So again, this is just what the AI agent is going to be saying to the number that's going to be transferring, right? So again, you can go ahead and save this, right? This should work, yeah. So again, that's what the action would look like, right? Then from here, let's add a new action. This is going to be triggering a workflow. So this is a very good feature because the Go High Levels automation section is very, very good and very comprehensive. So this can be very, very useful to utilize their inbuilt automation platform without having to connect to N8N, without having to connect to make.com. So this is why we would use this trigger workflow. So again, it's very much similar to the transfer call, but again, we're just triggering inbound workflows, right? This could be very useful for setting up drip campaigns, setting up, email marketing campaigns, putting contacts into certain workflows, etc. It's very, very useful, right? So again, that's essentially what this, means. You can go ahead and select the type of workflow you want with the action name, and then it's just going to be the same thing as we covered inside the SMS section right there, right? And then from here, we have send SMS. So I'm actually going to be using this in this example of the voice agent. So let's just do send underscore SMS as the action name. And then this is going to be the SMS sent with the content message. So for example, in a voice agent, you could have an SMS upon booking in a appointment. So we can do, hey, we'll do, hey, and then we'll add in a little variable, hey, contact full name, right? This is a confirmation message. This is a confirmation message for your booked salon appointment, right? This is the confirmation, for your books, for your salon booked appointment, right? Whatever, right? So again, this is how you can customize your SMS. You can add in these dynamic variables. You can add in whatever you want inside the SMS content, right? So then from here, when should the SMS take place? So again, after the user books a appointment, right? After the user books an appointment. And then what to say before the SMS. So again, we can put in what to say before the SMS. So it'll say, hold on, like, please wait while we send you an SMS, right? So we can, again, just add in, please wait while we send you a SMS, right? So you can just really put in anything. I'm just trying to show you the whole purpose of this SMS tool, right? Save right here. Awesome. So, right, then we can add an SMS function, right? And then we can also add an update contact field as well. So again, this is just updating the field of the contact. So for example, let's say they provide you with a different service address, or you want to update the contact before sending out any actions or sending out any SMSs, right? Essentially, Go High Level can use their contact feature and it can already update the contact based on the information they've provided, right? We won't really be using this, but I thought it'd be good to explain it as well. So action name, again, could be the same thing. Contact field, again, you can go ahead and select all the different contacts, right? You can select custom fields. You can select everything you want, right? What to update in the contact field. Again, this is providing some information to the customer about what to update in the contact field. So for example, let's say it was like the city, right? You can say update the contact city, right? Whatever, right? You can provide that as an example, right? And then from here, you can have examples. So like 123 Main Drive, Brisbane, right? Whatever you want, right? So again, that's just how you would do updating a contact field. All right, and they're almost done here. And then we have appointment booking. So this is where you can utilize Go High Level's native appointment booking feature. So for example, if I wanted to go ahead and book an appointment inside the calendar, which is very much doable, we can actually go down here And like you just select any calendar you really want. I believe I have a med spa calendar. Like we'll just use a HVAC consultation, for example. But essentially, this is how we can utilize the book appointment tool within inside the calendar feature, right? So again, we can offer the number of days, we can offer the number of appointment slots per day, the hours between slots examples. So again, this is very, very easy. For example, you could use the inbuilt feature inside Go High Level, which is very much useful. And then you could also use an external feature, right? But for the purpose of this video, I'm going to be showing you how to also use an external feature. And we're going to be building that external feature as well, which is going to be allowing you, which is going to be showing you, which is going to be allowing you to connect to other businesses' calendars and other systems as well, not just High Level. So I thought it'd be good to explain both the integrated version in High Level and then also other external, systems as well, and how to actually do that, right? So this is essentially the inbuilt section, but we're not going to be using this. It's very simple because I want to also show you this custom function action right here. So that essentially covers everything at the moment. Again, I'm not going to be using the SMS, right? Because it's going to be different. We're not making it inbuilt in. We're not going to be doing everything in Go High Level, right? We're going to be doing it externally by N8N, right? Which is why I want to show you this custom action function right here. So essentially, we can add in custom action. This will allow us to send automation to N8N right here, which is what I'm going to be showing you. Make.com, literally anything. So I'm going to be showing you an example and actually building it out with you right here. So let's name this one check appointment, I believe. Appoint. And then when should this custom action take place? This action should take place after the customer this action should take place after the customer has provided you with a requested appointment time, right? What to say before executing the action? Say, I will say I'll process that now, right? We'll say I'll check that slot for you now. And then endpoint URL. So this is where we're going to be using another external platform feature. So I thought it'd be good to both show you the integrated versions and then also the external other versions that you can use, so you can actually get a full idea of what this really full platform is about. So for example, because this is going to be a check appointment workflow, I'm going to be using N8N in this video. So what we're going to be doing, if you want to sign up to N8N, you can for free. You can get a 14-day free trial. Then you can come down to webhook, right? And this is where we're going to be grabbing in our test URL. You want to make sure this is using respond. Actually, no, we'll leave this as immediately because we want to put in some test data, right? So we're going to be getting this test URL, and this is where we can put it into this API endpoint right here. Now, for some reason, they already have this right there. But again, just paste in your webhook right here from your automation platform. This is how you're going to be able to process external custom actions. So checking availability, booking in appointments, etc. That is not in High Level, right? Don't worry about the headers. Don't worry about authentication needed. What we're going to do is parameters right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to do requested underscore time right here. Make sure we have an underscore. And then what to collect from the conversation, which is going to be the description, is going to be the requested time of the customer, right? String, leave this as string. And then example, let's do tomorrow at 3 p.m., right? Sorry, guys, I was rushing a little bit. Make sure this HTTP method is actually post, not get. I accidentally missed out on that. I was rushing it a little bit. Sorry about that. But again, make sure that's post, right? And then you want to come back to here, right? And actually, before you even go ahead and save it, for some reason, Go High Level, it needs to test it and establish the connection, right? So again, that's going to be the values to initialize the custom action. So if we come back here, make sure it's on post. Do continue and then do test webhook, and we'll get a little green success action right here. And all right, awesome. So as you can see, we've got that information now from Go High Level, right? Now let's actually go ahead and add in an AI agent in it. I'm going to be quickly building this out, right? We'll leave this as defined below, and then this is going to be the system prompt user message right here. Now I'm going to be pasting this in because it would just take me too long to build this out, everything, but I'll run you through it step by step, and I'll show you how we can map in that data. So let's open this up right here. And then the role, this is going to be the role. So again, the whole purpose of this agent is going to be checking availability within a calendar, right? Again, goes back to my point. This is useful to understand this because if we are building out an agent using Go High Level and the customer has another external calendar system, we need to use an automation platform to actually check it as well, right? So let's come down into webhook headers right here, and let's drag in this requested time right here, right? Again, if you do want this template and prompt everything I'm using, just go ahead, download in the free resource hub. Go ahead and download it. It's complete for free. You can go ahead and get started as quickly as possible, right? Then from here, we have the calendar data. So this is defining the essentially the start and end date. So again, what this is going to be doing is going to be checking for availability right in the calendar, and we can provide the working hours right there. The length of each slot is going to be 1 hour right here. And then we have the booking process. So check if the customer's requested time is available using the calendar tool, right? So add in tool right there. If it is available, let the AI model know and confirm. If it's unavailable, suggest after 2 alternative slots closest to the requested time by checking availability again. If there is no slots upon rechecking within the day, search for the next week from the current time and provide alternative slots right there. Right, so again, this is just the booking process. I'm just quickly running you through this so again, you can get a good idea. And then this is just the prompt for the response and output right here. So again, if it is successful, it'll say something like this. But then if it's not successful, it's going to check up to 3 alternative slots inside the calendar right here. Awesome. Right, and then we can actually go back and then let's add in a OpenAI chat model right here. This is just going to be allowing and sending some information using the brain of our AI model, right? And then finally, let's add in a Google Calendar node right here, and it's going to, you need to create a credential and just sign in with Google right here. All right, awesome. Now, I'm just using Google Calendar inside this example, but the whole point is to show you how we can externally connect to these businesses, platforms, and systems, right? I'm going to be using Google Calendar because lots of people use it, but that's just an example, right? But the whole point is, as you can see, this is how we can connect to other systems via Go High Level and using that agent builder as well. So, again, this is just going to be checking availability. So again, the event is going to be calendar, and then it's going to be availability, and then it's going to be from list, which is going to be my list, right? And then we're going to be switching these to those little functions right there. Awesome. So let's leave that. That's fine. And then we're going to add in a webhook response right here. Webhook. Need this one right here. Response, and then it's going to be first incoming item, and then we're going to come back and we're going to change this to respond using webhook node. All right, sweet. So that's just a quick little simple automation I built out, as you can see, using Go High Level right here. So now with that in mind, let's go ahead and actually test this out. So let's go ahead and test this webhook again. Before we do that, let's execute it. Let's come back to here. Let's test it. Initialize action, and you can see what it's going to be doing, right? Awesome, checking availability, and then it'll respond with yes right here, which is success. So that's exactly how you can connect an external automation platform. Now, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing the same thing. We'll just name this up here. Make sure you click save. And then also another tip as well, we can actually go ahead and switch this to production URL so it runs automatically. And to do that, switch over to production URL, come back to Canvas, go up to the top, make sure it's active, right? And then switch, got it. And then we can come back in here and we can actually paste the new production URL, sorry, up here. And let's just delete this right here. All right, awesome. All right, awesome. So that's going to be our production URL. And then again, we can actually go ahead and test it one more time because for some reason, once you change the URL, it doesn't work for some reason. But we can see, bang, success, obviously, right? So awesome. Let's go ahead and save it. Now let's create the next custom action, which is going to be a book an appointment, right? So it's going to be book _ appointment, right? When the custom action to take place, when the customer wants to book a appointment, right? Say, I will book that appointment for you now, right? API endpoint, again, the same thing. So now keeping in mind that this is all good to go, let's create a new workflow, right? Let's create a new workflow for this agent. And let's do the exact same thing that we're going to be doing, right? So again, first step, let's do webhook starts when webhook is called. Make sure it's post. Make sure, we'll just leave it as immediately for now, as because we need to put in some test data. Let's put in the URL right here. Awesome. So that's going to be our URL. Again, the exact same thing. But what's going to be different is this is going to have different types of parameters and variables. Now, if I do remember correctly, based on the prompt, I can get it up quickly. We're going to need to put some variables for the appointment. So we're going to ask for, what we're going to do is we're going to have service type, right? Because this is going to be a salon, right? This is going to be collecting the service type of the customer. So the type of service, we'll just do the type of service the customer wants. So, for example, this could be a facial, a massage, a haircut, whatever, right? Um, Customer wants, right? Awesome. Example, and let's do like beard trim, right? That's an example, right? So that's going to be one thing, right? And then from there, we're going to need to get its, let's do full underscore name, right? And then we'll do the full name of the customer, right? Awesome. And then we'll do like John Smith, right? Whatever. Right. Awesome. And then we'll add one more thing. I'm just looking at the prompt right now. What do we need? All right. So we're going to need, yep. And then we'll also do email, right? We'll also do email. That's a good one. And then from here, we'll be able to process the booking right here. So email, awesome. And then one more thing is just going to be, right, awesome. And then one more thing is going to be the confirm time, right? Because this confirm time is going to be different than the requested time, right? Because if the requested time is unavailable, it's not going to be the same, right? So um, the confirm time for the appointment, right? The confirm time for the appointment, right? And then let's do 12 p.m. tomorrow, right? Whatever, right? So yeah, again, what's happening here in Go High Level is Go High Level AI agent is looking at all this information after it has collected it inside the prompt and transcript, and then it's just going to be sending it to this webhook address right here. So let's actually go ahead and test this again. Let's make sure we have the right settings this time. Come back out and we can do test webhook. As you can see, that's all of our stuff right here. Bang, success. So now we can build out the second automation right here. So again, let's do the same thing. Let's add in an AI agent up the top. Let's make it prompt. Let's come down again. I'm going to be putting in a prompt that I've already got, by the way, because it will just take too long to build out, right? But I'll run you through it quickly. All right. So again, you are an appointment booking agent. Your job is to use the create event in Google Calendar tool to get the details of the customer and create an event in the booking calendar. The confirmed time will be this. Now, we're going to be subbing in this confirmed time we've just got, which is going to be 12 p.m. tomorrow, right? And then we're using a current time. So it's going to be using this current time to help define the start and end time, right? Because that is because if you notice before, once we're switching on the little parameters inside the node, we need to let AI and we need to prompt it to define those parameters, right? So please use the confirm time and the current time to define the start time and end date parameters for processing the booking. Appointment duration will be 1 hour. Simply add on 1 hour to the confirmed time and use the confirmed time as the start time, and then simply add on 1 hour to the confirmed time to get the end time. So that's just a little prompt. And then from here, we have a send email. Don't worry about that. That's for another template. And then this is going to be the output. So again, this is just a quick little prompt for our agent right here. And then let's add in the same thing, which is going to be the OpenAI chat model. By the way, if you have OpenAI free credits, you can go ahead and use them as well. That's a quick tip. And then from here, let's add in the book Google Calendar book appointment tool as well, right? So it's going to be event create from calendar here. We're going to be letting the AI define, and then we're going to be adding in a few little parameters right here. And this is where we're going to be using those information we've collected like this, and we're going to be putting into the title, etc. So let's add a summary, which just means title. And then we'll do new appointment, right? We'll do new appointment for, and then this is where we can sub in everything right here. New appointment for John Smith, right? New appointment for, yep, perfect. New appointment for John Smith. And then we'll just do at whatever time, right? Actually, no, new appointment for John Smith for a beard trim. That makes more sense because they can see the time in the calendar, right? New appointment for John Smith for a beard trim, right? So again, that's just a quick summary, right? Then we can also add in a description. So again, this is Google Calendar. The whole purpose of this is just to show you how we can use Go High Level and connect to other automation systems so you can get a full idea of all the different tools, right? And different custom actions, which is what we call them. So this is where we can add in some of the type of stuff. So we can do confirm time right here, right? And then we can add in email as well, right? So again, just subbing in these values right here, which is very useful for them to see, right? Bang, full name, and then finally we'll do service type. It's going to be beard trim. So that's exactly what's going to be happening, right? Now let's come back and let's do a webhook response to webhook. First incoming item. And then once we know, let's go into the, right? Just click save up here. And let's go into active up the top. Again, this is going to be pulling a production URL, and then we're going to be testing our final agent right now. So let's grab this. Let's come back to this right here. Make sure you grab that right there. Awesome. Right. Awesome. So now that's on the production URL, and we can go ahead and save it. And let's go up to here, and we'll just do go high level. Right. Go high level. Book appointment. Again, you'll get this template of everything I built. I forgot to do respond using webhook node, so that's my bad. So let's go ahead and test it again. And let's save this. Hold on. Again, make sure it's on respond. That's my bad. Go ahead and click save. All right, and let's test this again. So this should work now. Again, that respond to webhook node was just bad. Awesome. So it should come in a minute. Let's go ahead and test it. Initialize action. Post respond. All right, now that we've got that production URL in, let's go ahead and switch it to active up the top, as we know. Let's make sure you have this on to respond using webhook node, by the way. Get that production URL, paste it in, and now we can test everything in the executions, and then we'll do a final run through using the voice actual service right here. So let's go ahead and initialize that action. And we can see that it will come up any minute now. We can see its status is success right there. You can see, there we go. Success right here. So let's actually go ahead and I'll check my Google Calendar. If we come here, tomorrow, there we go. So it's in there. We can see that is that exact Google Calendar. So that's exactly how you can build a full Go High level agent right there. And you will actually understand all of these different little functions, of course, right here. So again, I'm pretty sure we've covered everything inside this little tiny course. Got everything. And then we've got model context protocols. That's just adding in an MCP server. It just allows you to run multiple tools out of one server instead of having everything in here. But we won't really get into that. It's a little bit more advanced, right? And then from here, we have some final settings up top, which is going to be trigger workflow when call is completed. So again, this might trigger a workflow whenever a call is completed. Maybe you want to send an internal notification to the business owner saying that they have a new workflow, a new voice agent completed, or something like that. You can add receive email notifications on post-call completions. This is a very, very useful feature that Go High Level has allowed us to have. Essentially, whenever someone has finished a call, you can just immediately send them an email and they'll get the transcript or they'll get the summary of the call. This is very useful because before, what we have to do in other platforms is we have to send in the webhook manually and then do the email, right? So that's very useful. So we have really everything up here, right? So we've got all the custom appointments. Now let's go next into the final section. So we're almost done here, which is going to be checking the phone and availability. So you can actually, if you do have a phone number, you can go down and put it in here. I'm just going to be using that phone number right there. So again, this is where you can deploy your agent. You can alternatively buy a number right here inside the system settings, but we won't worry about that. Inside there. Awesome. All right, so again, I'm just going to select my number right there, enable AI agent as a backup to the phone number pool. And then you can also set the working hours of the agent, right? Ideally, you'll have it 24/7. It makes sense. It makes more sense to have it 24/7 than other unavailable slots. But yeah, that's kind of everything for the phone and availability. And then from here, you have the different call types. So again, you can do a web call, which is just a standard web call. And then you can also do a phone call, right? So we'll actually go ahead and call your number right there as well. So we're going to be doing a web call for the purpose of this demo right here. So let's go ahead and test the web call, and you can see how it will work. Hey, how you going? Look, I'd just like to book an appointment for tomorrow at 10 a.m. for a beard trim. Do you have any availability? Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks. Yeah, it's Ashton Voss, and then my email is ashtonvoss47 at gmail.com. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. Awesome. So as we can see, that's exactly how the Go High Level agent works inside the platform. So we can see we've got the transcript here, which is super useful, and you will see that I'm getting a email right here. So if we come up, you can see that I'm getting a email. Let me just check it quickly. So you can see that I'm getting an email right there about the transcript that's just happened. So that's super useful. We can see the transcript, we can see the recording of everything, and then we can also see the summary as well, right? So that's exactly how we can do it. Then we can go ahead and click save, and you will come out to your little inbound agent list. Then we can actually go ahead and see the number of calls. Let's do this. But yeah, that's exactly a full course overview on the Go High Level Voice AI agent. We covered everything. We covered the prompting, setting up the agent, setting up all the custom actions as well, and actually how to go ahead and connect it to different calendars as well, which hopefully you understood. So I just didn't want to covering the native Go High Level calendars because that's super easy. But we can actually do it through other external services using that custom function added feature that they just added in. So I thought it'd be useful to create this full course and full video on Go High Level because they have a ton of new features to actually allow us to build quite good agents and voice agents right now. So yeah, of course, if you do want free resources, everything that we use, I've got a completely free AI resource hub, a voice AI resource hub that can go ahead and get everything completely for free. And if you are a business owner and you are looking to get a system just like this done for you, custom done for you, feel free to go ahead and book a discovery call in the link in the description below. But without further ado, I will see you in the next video.